KwaZulu-Natal trainer Alistair Gordon has recently acquired a treadmill incorporating the world's first airbag system, which promises to revolutionize treadmill training in racehorses.
It was something that, to be honest, in the early days wasn't affordable to us. We had to import it from overseas at huge costs. And through Mike, we afforded the opportunity of buying one locally, and it's made locally, and it's become far more affordable for everybody. But at the moment, we're starting off with some of the horses that are coming back from rehab. There's a filly called Belcanto. She had a slab fracture of her knee, and she's starting off her trotting work on it. A horse called Morks Ruby, who's come back from 3 months on the farm. He's had a few problems before, and we're starting him off on it. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We've got a hell of a lot to learn. I've obviously never worked with one of these machines before. I'm very fortunate that both Mike de Kock and Brett Crawford are very helpful in their imparting of knowledge to us. Nicolette gets on very well with John Butler, who runs Mike's Treadmill in Durban, and he's also been very helpful. So yeah, we're very, very fortunate that we have got help. It's going to be a long learning curve for us, but I think it's got a lot of benefits, and I'm sure over the period of the next year and more, we'll see a lot of benefits coming out of this yard.
Would you say that using a treadmill is more beneficial than the swimming pool?
Obviously, they're two very different forms of exercise for a horse. But I think possibly the treadmill is more advanced and more scientific in the way that you train on it. Swimming pool, obviously you can't do fast work in the swimming pool. You can only do slow work. It does have its advantages, obviously, but I think today, if I had the option of both, I'd very likely go for the treadmill in preference to the swimming pool.
I had a horse that had leg problems, and when I looked into the treadmills that are available worldwide, I looked in the UK, I looked in Australia. I find most of the treadmills, you can't alter anything on your surface if your horse has got leg problems. So I came up with the idea, looking around, and I'd worked with these in previous projects, that I got a hold of Firestone themselves, and that gave me the idea of fitting these airbags under the plate that the horse runs on. But it was quite a mean task to fit them, because you're limited in space and that there. But they work very well. It took me quite a while to get all the information on the tonnages and the forces required for that, and to get it right on the size of the airbags. But yeah, it's worked out well. We can alter the surface now. For instance, if you're running your airbags at approximately 3 bar, you're getting 1.2 tons of force per airbag underneath the floor. You can go right up to nearly 3 tons per airbag. Can get your surface to be more or less like, if you're racing in the UK where your surface is a lot softer, you can cushion your floor surface to take the sting out the ground, as I can say. If the horses are running on top, you up your air pressure, which would make the surface a lot firmer. It works similar to a treadmill in a gym. It's just that we can, most of our tracks in South Africa are flat. You can work your horse to build up muscle on the hindquarter, and that you can, the treadmill goes up to about plus minus 7 degrees. You can go from 0 to 45 kilometers an hour. On a track, you work your horse down the track, and that's his work over with. With the treadmill, you can take the horse up to just about a full out canter, and then you can drop him down again, and you can build it up again, which gives you more stamina work. Whereas if he works down the track once, and his work is complete. It should assist in loading horses and pens. Yearlings, to go to the yearling sales, I know a lot of the stud farms prefer to work with the walkers and that, but if you look in Australia, a lot of them use the treadmill on stud farms and that to build up muscle on the youngsters, purely on the basis that you don't have to have they haven't been broken, and you don't need a rider, and you can build up a muscle to prep your horse and look in tip-top condition for the sales. Horses that are coming back from injuries and that there, the time it takes you to build a horse up back into full racing, it's a lot quicker on a treadmill, on the basis that there's no weight on its back. Every part is made in our workshop, and as we can say in South Africa, proudly South Africa, a lot of people think that being a South African product, it's inferior to the rest of the world. I disagree with that. When I've looked at the products that are available and the treadmills that have been bought in, I think our treadmill is far superior to that. I think my main reason for building these treadmills locally in South Africa was purely on the basis, when I found out what they were paying for these to import them, not many trainers would afford it. And that was my main goal, was to make it affordable for the average trainer in South Africa.
I think the biggest advantage is the interval training that you can do on it, where you can take a horse from slow work up to fast work, bring it back to slow work. Obviously you monitor them with a heart rate monitor at the same time. You're timing them of how long they're working on it at the same period. You can put them up the incline, up the degrees that they're working at, so basically they're working up a hill. So yeah, I think it just is so many more options that you can use to horse rather than just on a track. Obviously your track work is still very important and we'll still use it. But yeah, I think the interval training is something it's new, it's exciting, it's working for other people around the world, and including, I know Mike's had a lot of success with his treadmill, so has Brett. And yeah, I think if we can get the full potential out of it, then I think we'll see the results from it.